If I had to keep only 15 cheap fragrances for summer 2024, I have a great list, but before that I have one honorable mention, Arm of Club, the new Intense Man EDP. It is a pretty well-known fragrance. I don't want to talk that much about this one, but this one will be definitely in my rotation in summer 2024, and I prefer it over all versions as it is better at the opening and still pretty smoky at the dry down. So Arm of Club, the new Intense Man EDP, honorable mention. Let's start by Meara from Maison Alhambra. It is a very unusual, not safe blind by worthy type of freshy. It is like oceanic, it is like airy, salty, gives you some sort of woody feel. It is not ordinary type of freshy. It is very unusual and niche standing type of fragrance, very close to Megamare by Orto Parisi. Lasts only 10 hours plus, guys. This one is long lasting, but not a beast mode type of fragrance, with pretty solid 2 hours of projection and sillage. Next one is from House of Isekai. For sure will stay forever in my collection. For whatever reason, it is unfairly underrated fragrance and it is such a gem. Isekai Lam Blue Shine. Yeah, it is in a blue bottle, but smells pretty green to my nose. Sage is very prominent, has a very unusual and appealing at the same time character. Shares some similarities with Acqua di Giu Profumo, like that, fresh and dark. Performance 12 hours plus, easily on my skin, and projection and sillage is good for 2 hours. Beast mode in terms of longevity, but projection is above average, not wow type of projection, but definitely better compared to like 90% of freshy fragrances in my collection. So Isekai Lam Blue Shine. Let's do it very fast. I don't want to give that much detailed reviews about fragrances. Video will get so long. I want to save time for you. I would go with Blue Touch by Franck Olivier. Make it short, one of the best Acqua di Giu, regular Acqua di Giu inspired fragrances or alternatives. Yeah, I can say like 95%. This one is a little bit sweeter compared to the Acqua di Giu, but in the air it smells identical and leaves even more aquatic at some points, and performs better compared to the newer batches of Acqua di Giu. I can get like by newer batches of Acqua di Giu 6 hours max. With this one 8 hours, and projection and sillage is good for 2 hours and gets solid compliments. Blue Touch by Franck Olivier. Next one is a different type of fragrance. Honestly, 100%. It is a cheap smelling fragrance to my nose. I have smelled lots of great fragrances. I'm talking about Silver Scent Pure by Jacques Bogart, but gets compliments better compared to those high quality fragrances. Some of those high quality fragrances, let's say. For example, Terre d'Hermès, Silver Scent Pure. This one gets better compliments, but that one smells way more high quality and legit to my nose. This one is like floor cleaner, to be honest. Cheap and synthetic, powerful, but gets crazy compliments for whatever reason. It is like minty, citrusy, and grape juicy. Grape juicy vibe is more prominent here compared to other notes. And it is synthetic, it is artificial and cheap, but in the air smells great, clean, and appealing. Performance is crazy. This one is very powerful type of fragrance, lasts like 24 hours. If you spread on the clothing, they're good luck to you. And projection and sillage is solid for first 2-3 hours. So Jacques Bogart's Silver Scent Pure. Number 11, I don't believe that is around 40-50 bucks. Smells very legit, like niche, like one of those fragrances from House of Zerjaf, for example. I'm talking about Dhill Icon. Man, this fragrance blows me away. Oh, look at this. It is like earthy, it is dark at some points, ambroxany, peppery, and mostly soapy green. So let's say to this one, green, soapy with woody, darker, spicy base. About performance, lots of people say that cannot get anything out of this one, but sticks to my skin. I can get like 2 hours plus longevity on my skin with this one. It is me, and whenever I smell it, it's there. But projection and sillage is not that great. I can say very great longevity, but average to below average type of projection and sillage, but it smells very high quality, legit, and mature, dressed up, classy. Dhill Icon. Now we are at top 10. Without any further ado, I want to continue by House of Armov. Some say it is like granny, old woman smelling type of fragrance. I never received any comment like this. Actually, it is a pretty complimenting fragrance, but unusual smelling, not a safe blind buy worthy fragrance. Milestone, Arm of Club de Nuit, Milestone. It is Cologne of Millésime Imperial from House of Creed. It is like salty, rooty, has some sort of soily, muddy vibe to it, and at some points it is tropical, fruity, very complex and unusual, very opposite notes together. For example, we have something salty, then we have fruits, then we have rooty notes, soily notes. Yeah, it is a pretty niche smelling fragrance. Lasts on me solid 8 hours. Projection is average, above average a little bit for 2 hours, but sillage is way above average. Has a very loud and room filler type of sillage. Arm of Club de Nuit Milestone. At number 9, I have another unfairly underrated gem from House of Salvatore Ferragamo, Uomo Casual Life. If you like coffee notes, if you like lemon, mint and sweet notes, this fragrance is definitely for you. It is like you are drinking coffee, and also at some points you have lemonade at your table. This is like mixture of those notes, and it is sweet, it is appealing. Wow, coffee comes through. Coffee is pretty, I can say, prominent at the opening, and at the base it has ambroxan. Such a beautiful fragrance, such a handsome fragrance. I can get like 6-7 hours max longevity. Let's say honestly good 6 hours longevity with this one. Projection and sillage is average for first hour, 1.5, and this is one of those absolute lady killers. So let's see what we have here. Okay, at number 8, I have here one of those great complimenting fragrances from House of Letzafa, Sheikh Al Shouk Final Edition. It is also pretty underrated, I have to say. It doesn't get that much talk or hype. It is gingery and doesn't smell like cheap. To be honest, it is like very high quality smelling, freshy. It is sour and gets woodier, earthier at some points at the dry down, very close to YEDP by Yves Saint Laurent, but price is 1/3 of that one. It is like 30 bucks for 100 ml. I can say as long lasting, I can get like 7-8 hours plus longevity with this one, also with YEDP. Projection is solid 2 hours, also with YEDP. Compliments, I can say 8 out of 10, also with YEDP. Everything is identical with that fragrance except price, let's say. So it is one of those must-haves if you like that type of fragrances. Sheikh Al Shouk Final Edition by Letzafa. At number 7, I have to explain it. It is not as complimenting as other fragrances in the list. It is number 7 because I like it. It is only because of me, not because it is wow better complimented compared to the others. I am talking about Barbar Touch. I like this type of fragrances. It is like mature, it is masculine, it is very little soapy, smells airy, transparent, and has little bit of spicy, peppery feel to it, like Galloway by Parfums de Marly, like Lilac White, but definitely lasts longer compared to both of those fragrances. It is a pretty long-lasting, peppery, soapy, airy, and inoffensive type of indoor fragrance. I can get like 8 to 10 hours plus longevity with this one. For this type of DNA, it is a solid longevity. Whereas, for example, with Lilac White, I cannot get that longevity. It is like 3 hours max. They did a great job here. It is one of those mature and inoffensive fragrances. It is safer, for example, compared to the Dhill Icon. I will keep this one forever in my collection. Barbar Touch. At number 6, again from House of Armaf, I like when they add their take, their twist to other fragrances, not exact cologne. It is one of those fragrances, Armaf Club de Nuit, iconic. It is very close to Bleu de Chanel, but it is like take of Armaf on Bleu de Chanel. It is not exact cologne of that fragrance. Smells very great. It is not harsh or synthetic or cheap like most of Armaf fragrances. It is better. They did a good job here. You get that Bleu de Chanel vibe, but it has also its own character. I don't get that much incense here, but at the background it is touchable. It is like freshy blue and high quality smelling type of fragrance. For me, this is one of the most high quality, legit smelling Bleu de Chanel inspired fragrances. If you like that one, I believe this is a must have for you, especially considering the price, performance. I would say lasts pretty long, 8 to 10 hours. It is not exaggerated, and projection and sillage is good, at some points average, but not a beast mode fragrance. A long-lasting, above average type of fragrance in terms of longevity and projection and sillage. Now we are at sub 5. Let's do it fast, but if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, remember to subscribe and support me by your likes. I really appreciate that. From House of Resassi, Agra. It is, let's make it short, one of the best alternatives for Creed Green Irish Tweed. I said in several videos, there is some sort of bitterness, vegetal feel in Green Irish Tweed, which is not that much touchable in other colognes. they did a great job here. They could catch it here, that bitterness. So it is like vegetal, fresh, very little citrusy, fresh green type of fragrance, and gets very little musky and rooty at the dry down. I can get 7 hours longevity with this one. For this price, this DNA, it is a 10 out of 10 job. Like 20 bucks for 100 ml. Create Green Irish Tweed, you know how much is that. And projection and sillage is average for first hour, hour and a half. One of those must-have fragrances. Agra from House of Resasi. Number 4, another great fragrance from House of Letzafa. Man, my t-shirt smells damn good, but I don't remember which fragrance. I have to refresh my memories. I like it. So, what I was talking about, Lam Blue Shine from House of Letzafa. Okay, for me this is one of the best Acqua di Giù inspired fragrance, but not regular Acqua di Giù. It is like Acqua di Giù Profondo mostly, like 70-80%, and has some sort of feelings from Acqua di Giù Profumo. I cannot say it is exactly Profondo, but it is closer to Profondo, but at the dry down gives me some darker notes like Profumo. I really enjoy it. Every single factor about this fragrance is 10 out of 10. Compliments, price, scent profile, except performance. I can get like 5-6 hours longevity with this one. With first hour, hour and a half, average to soft. At some points, honestly, below average type of projection and sillage, but it is a very solid chippy if you want to apply it for indoors, for example, or close encounters. Number 3, again by Resasi, again a take on a famous fragrance, not exact clone, but yeah, the similarities are like 80-90%. Alwisam Day from Resasi. It is very close to Silver Mountain Water from House of Creed with little bit of differences, like we have here added rose, and rose is not jammy or overwhelming. It is very silky and smooth, and I believe works great with that DNA, but makes it even more feminine compared to the real stuff, which is like perfectly unisex. This one is a little bit more feminine, but still I like it. So you ask me so much, this one or Arm of Club de Nuit Sillage. If you want a little bit more masculine, a little bit more pungent, strong fragrance with added twist, woody notes, spices, go with Sillage. If you are okay with this DNA and you want something smoother, stick to this one. I like this one better because Sillage is like woody, earthy a little bit. It has some sort of ambroxany, spicy feel to it, which I believe it doesn't work that much great with Silver Mountain Water DNA. I prefer this one, but you cannot go wrong with any of these fragrances. I can get like 8 hours plus longevity with Alwisam Day and 2 hours of good projection and sillage. One of the most complimented fragrances in my collection in this price range, I have to say. Number 2, I would give a solid 10 out of 10 note to this fragrance because covers every single factor that I need. Compliments for sure, performance and legit scent profile, plus great price. The only downside is bottle design. I'm talking about Tathi Blue from House of Afnan. Such a beautiful, uplifting and high quality smelling chippy. It is like citrusy, and that citrusy vibe is very different compared to most of my fragrances. It has its own character and it is memorable. It is cologne of Bulgari Tiger. Lasts on me like 8-10 hours plus, which is a pretty long lasting fragrance, and it smells very clean at the dry down, like clean sheets, clean clothes, clean out of shower type of vibe it has. And projection and sillage is good for first 2 hours. One of those absolute complimenting cheapies. Number 1 again goes to House of Afnan. Not as safe as Tathi Blue, but definitely more complimented. I'm talking about Supremacy. Not only intense concentration, extrait de parfum, highly concentrated, beast mode, citrusy, earthy fragrance. Reminds me of Creed Aventus and Hajiwat, but has more characters, borrowed more characters, let's say, from Hajiwat, because it is more earthy at the dry down, plus a little bit smoky. Hajiwat is also like that, but Aventus is not earthy at the dry down. So it is a little bit sweet. It is sweeter compared to both of those fragrances that I mentioned, Aventus and Hajiwat. Lasts on me 10-12 hours plus, solid. And projection and sillage is very crazy for first 2-3 hours. Take care, guys.